The movie begins with an English teacher, Chen Nayan, educating her pupils about the difference between two English terms. As she continues to explain the difference and help the class pronounce the phrases, she can't help but reverie at a memory of a man. The story shifts back to 2011 and takes place in the city of Enkyo, where students are getting ready for the much-anticipated Goko, a two-day national exam for college admission. For many students, the result of this test will determine which institution they can attend, but for Chen Nayan, a young and aspirational individual, it will mean far more than that. It will be her ticket out of poverty. Her graduating class, like every other high school in the nation, had just 60 days to prepare for the exams, so they crammed in as many hours of study as they could in the hopes of getting high scores. But the students' focus was suddenly disrupted when people started running towards the school balcony. Curious, Chen Nayan follows the crowd to take a look for herself. A girl jumps from the school premises, killing herself. Upon seeing what the commotion is all about, she sprints downstairs and navigates her way through the crowd to take a closer look. As she feared, it was her friend and classmate, Huxiaodi. Feeling sorry for her friend as people take photos of Huxiaodi's lifeless body, she removes her sweater and covers it. Chen Nayan gets called into the principal's office the next day. She is questioned about the apparent suicide by senior police officer Lao Yang and investigative officer Zheng Yi. Given that she was the only one to move up and cover the body in a genuine display of empathy. She didn't scream even though she was fully aware that Huxiaodi's suicide was mostly driven by bullying rather than pressure from school. The investigators were about to interview her further when the school bell rung, signaling the start of classes. Chen Nayan got up and proceeded to her classroom. After classes, she continued to study at her home when it was cut short by a group of angry adults who came aggressively banging on the door, looking for her mother, Zhu Lei. Turns out her mom is drowned in debt, and the people outside come to collect what she owes. Chen Nayan's mother wasn't home, and even if she were, she couldn't pay them out, and so Chen Nayan just hid in the corner praying for the storm to pass. The next day at school, the students were greeted by the newly installed balcony fences. They were installed overnight to keep the students from committing suicide. During lunch, vicious school bully Wai Lai and her friends start targeting Chen Nayan, but quick on her wits, Chen Nayan did the best course of action, which is avoiding them. But the bullies didn't stop at school. They followed her on the way home and started assaulting her. Chen Nayan visited her mother late at night and assisted her in putting cosmetics on her hair. Zhou La expressed regret to Chen Nayan for not providing her with a pleasant and cozy life. She reassures her daughter that all will work out in due course if she can just persevere through the difficulties. Chen Nayan hates the work her mother does. Her mother had to move far away and be gone for weeks, if not months, so she was in danger of getting into jail, in addition to the fact that she was selling illegal contraband. Chen Nayan sobs as she watches her mother go before the dawn rises. After school, Chen Nayan decides to take an alternative route home after spotting some thugs assembling to attack Xiaobai. She calls the police in an attempt to break it up, but it only puts her into further trouble. The thugs stole Chen Nayan's lunch money for interfering, and they also attempted to make fun of both victims by making them kiss. With little option, Chen Nayan moves in to give Xiaobai a kiss. The thugs laugh it off, and Xiaobai takes the opportunity to hit back, forcing the thugs to retreat. The next evening, the two unlikely pair meet up again. Xiaobai tries to pay the money that the thugs took from Chen Nayan, but without change for a large bill, Xiaobai takes Chen Nayan into his friend's shop to repair her phone. After fixing up the phone, Xiaobai escorts the innocent schoolgirl back to her place when suddenly, Chen Nayan starts tearing up posters of her mother, exposing her scams and debts. Subsequently, the posters of Chen Nayan's mother spread throughout her school, and some of the students started teasing her, which made Chen Nayan leave school earlier than usual. Xiaobai sees the schoolgirl on her way home. He rides down his motorcycle, and to his surprise, Chen Nayan gets on and asks to be taken anywhere. Xiaobai took Chen Nayan to the only safe place he knew, his shabby but functional house. He treated her with some noodles, and the two had a brief talk, which quickly took a sour turn when Chen Nayan started looking down on Xiaobai. Chen Nayan's school bullies have become increasingly aggressive, physically assaulting her and spreading accusations about her mother. Fed up with all the maltreatment, Chen Nayan tries to stand up to the bullies. They ruthlessly shove Chen Nayan down the stairs in front of several other pupils in response. After the incident, Chen Nian made the decision to inform the authorities that Wei Lai and her friends were to blame for Hu Xiaoti's tragic death. Hu Xiaoti's death is still being looked into by detectives Zheng Yi and Lao Yang. Wei Lai revealed to them during their interrogation that Chen Nian was also their victim, that Wei Lai had no regrets. Wei Lai and the others were consequently all suspended from school, although they were nevertheless allowed to sit for the college exams. Wei Lai's animosity for Chen Nian grew even more as a result of this. Chen Nian keeps going to school and studying for the Sadhi in the interim. One evening, on her way home from school, Wei Lai and two others corner Chen Nian and start attacking her with box cutters and a cage full of rats. Luckily, Chen Nian manages to outrun Wei Lai and her friends and hide in a trash container. She tried to phone the police investigator, Zheng Yi, but couldn't reach him. A few minutes later, Zheng Yi tries calling back, causing her phone to make noise. She quickly turns off the notification and prepares for the worst when one of the pursuers decides to ignore the noise. Wei Lai comes back and chooses to wait for Chen Nian at her place, knowing that she'll eventually come home. After overhearing the bullies, Chen Nian decides to go to Xiao Bai's place to seek refuge with nowhere else to go. She then asks Xiao Bai to keep her safe while studying for the college entrance exam. He agrees, and from there on, he follows her to and from school each day. Always make sure to keep a distance. Xiao Bai ambushes an unwary Wei Lai and orders her to stay away from Chen Nian in an attempt to halt things from getting worse and to permanently protect Chen Nian. The two become pretty close as they spend a lot of time together. A lighthearted friendship soon turns into two people trying to make each other feel whole again. The two are able to grin and be pleased for the first time in a long time. Chen Nian opens up about his background and starts to show care for Xiao Bai. Xiao Bai and his buddies are picked up by the police one evening as they are playing video games at a nearby computer shop so they can be put in a lineup. Because of a possible local serial rapist that has been reported, Xiao Bai stays at the police station for almost the whole night. However, bad fate befell Chen Nian when she was apprehended by the bullies, who not only beat her but also chopped off her hair and nudely recorded her. Bullying only ends when a man purposefully spills a bottle. Wei Lai also came to the realization that they went too far at that point. When Xiao Bai is eventually permitted to leave the police station, he returns home to find a bleeding Chen Nian on the floor, her clothes in pieces and her hair cut, taping her school nubs together. He assists her in shaving her head and then shaves his own head so that she wouldn't feel alone. She returned to school with a fresh cut and continued studying hard only a few days before the exams. It rained heavily on the day of the exam, resulting in a landslide. A man discovers a body while clearing the debris. The body is later found to be Wei Lai. The authorities interview Chen Nian as the prime suspect in Wei Lai's murder after the first day of the two-day college entrance exam. When the investigators questioned her about why she hadn't come to them and reported the bullying event. In response, she stated that nothing should get in the way of her academic pursuits. All she wanted was to pass the test and enroll at Beijing's college. The cops accompany Chen Nian as he returns the following day to complete the exam. On their way home, Xiao Bai suddenly snatches her, and they flee from the police. He clarifies that if he accepts responsibility for Wei Lai's passing, the only way she will be able to attend college and carry on with her life. He intends to say that he killed her while assaulting her. When Chen Nian reluctantly accepts, he acts quickly as if he is abusing her by the time the police catch up. They then arrest Xiao Bai for the crimes. In reality, what actually happened was Wei Lai pleads with Chen Nian not to report the incident to the cops. Afraid to disappoint her parents, Wei Lai promises Chen Nian anything she desires as long as she keeps her mouth shut. Chen Nian tells her that she will remain silent as long as she never has to face Wei Lai again. Wei Lai agrees and continues to talk casually without remorse as if she and Chen Nian were longtime friends. This annoyed Chen Nian, and out of frustration, she lightly shoves Wei Lai, falling down several flights of stairs, killing her on the spot. Back to the present, Chen Nian and Xiao Bai are both being interrogated in separate rooms. Despite the aggressive interrogation tactics used by the police officers, the two stick to their story that the only time they met was when Xiao Bai attacked Chen Nian. One of the investigators, Gemma, comes to Chen Nian's residence after receiving her brilliant college entrance exam results. Gemma informs her that Xiaobai lied about being a minor and was sentenced to death. Chen Nian, overcome with emotion, acknowledges her part in the crime, conceiving the teenager with great success. The detective then admits that he had been lying to her to get her to admit to the crime so that they might get a lighter sentence. Gemma clarifies that it was the appropriate course of action. Following their contact with Xiaobai, the investigator and she decide to accept the reduced sentences and serve their jail time together. Xiaobai and Chen Nian are driven in separate police vans to different juvenile prisons. Chen acknowledges that he made a mistake, but it was an accident rather than murder. She also penned a piece titled "A Letter to 20 Years in the Future," which she sent in during the examinations, expressing her hope for a better future for the two of them. Thanks for watching.